Hello friends, happy Friday. How is everyone doing this evening? Great to see so many folks already gathered up here. I have, as is tradition, the Matches Memorial Friday 7LE loaded with Haunted Bookshop, and man, do I feel like I've earned this pipe and drink today. I tell you, it has been a crazy Friday. I'll tell you more about that. All good, all's fine. I'm just happy the weekend is here at last. But before we get into all that, let's see who we've got assembled here tonight. We've got Steve Russell. Hello, Steve. Tim Fournier. Did I get it right, Tim? Hillbilly Piper. Jeffrey Feinberg. Clarence Wood. Pipes and Bees. Great to see you, buddy. Long time no see. Little Piper Todd. How's it going, Todd? Jimmy 513. Pipe Writer. MTMTB. Tessa Turn. Richard. Good evening to you all. I am, like I said Happy that it's Friday at last and it's the end of the day finally. Lord Hogarth, good evening, and Sirius Zenith, good to see you tonight. Pretty close. I try, Tim, I try. Pipes and Bees, you've been hiding. I haven't seen you in quite a while. I am enjoying a Hershey's chocolate porter from Yingling. And enjoying it is an understatement. It's a really delicious beer. I like it quite a bit. Gary Edminster, how are you tonight, Gary? So I took the day off today. I've got like a week and a half worth of vacation that I cannot use this year just because I ran out of time, and you know, with obligations I just couldn't take it. I couldn't fit it in. But today was like the last day of the year that I said, okay, I can get a day in today. I'm going to take today off. Big Country Briar, hello there, Cole. Michael Case, rainy and windy there, not good. Not a fit night out for Manor Beast. WC Fields. Good to see you. There's the Smooth Piper. How you doing, Peter? So, you know, I took the day off, but I knew I had one thing I had to do this morning. I said, I can knock this out in an hour. I'll just log on to the computer, get this done, and be done with it. St. David's Pipes. How you doing, St. David? And there's Pondering with Pepe's Pipes and Doug Owen. Good to see you guys. So I come down here at 7 o'clock and turn on the computer and get to work. 2 o'clock before I turn the darn thing off. That was the start of my vacation. So yeah, I worked from 7 to 2, which is almost a full day, right? And I said, I turned it off. I said, that's it, I'm done. And had to go out. I went to the post office, went to the grocery store, and headed back home and had some dinner. And around 7 o'clock this evening, I was getting ready to come down here and gathering stuff up. And I thought, oh, let me just take a quick look at my email. You shouldn't do that. And I had this email from my boss. This absolutely has to be done by the end of the day, or you know, the entire company's going to fall apart. And so I had to run down here and do so. It was just stupid stuff, but I was the only person that could do it, just because of the access I have and stuff. So anyway, I spent a half an hour just before this getting that done so that the company doesn't fall apart. Yeah, it's been a great low stress vacation day today. Let's see, Gary Edminster is fine, and he's smoking a large bent. I'm going to need my glasses for that. Blackberry Surprise. Alpha. It's either an alpha or an apple, but either way, Gary, enjoy. Taciturn Richard says, wish they'd hurry up and get Yingling out west. Well, they're working on it, I understand, Richard. They're working on it. And there's Mountain Coffee Outdoors. How you doing? Mountain Coffee, that's Gareth, is that right? The Smooth Piper's got some Haunted Bookshop in his Friday 7 Ellie. Good stuff. Best way to start a Friday evening. And my tamper tonight, I don't know how many of you guys will recognize that. This was made by my buddy Old Khakis. I believe his name is Russ. I haven't seen him in quite a long time. But he made a set. I've got the set here. I'll show you. Put the tamper back in. This little desk set where you got your tamper and then there's a little like scoop. And this is made out of, I believe it's teak that he salvaged from a sunk ship in the place where he has his boat docked. And yeah, he was making these for a while, and several folks in the YouTube pipe community have them. I treasure mine. I don't get it out very often, but I thought it would be fun to get out tonight. Ah, Michael Case, when does Wifey Poo get back? Michael, I'm not going to tell her you called her that. I don't know. She supposedly was coming back next Friday. Is that right? I think that's right. But there's still been some issues with her parents and stuff, so she's not sure. But but we're holding down the fort. Sailor says he'll be enjoying some Old Joe Krantz and a Briarwork bent pot with JW Black on the side. Sounds good. MTMTB's got some H&H Dark Fired and a 673. Good deal. Okay, Mountain Coffee. Good to know I got the name right. Gary Edminster's got some Dos Equis, I'm guessing. Puni Pipe Man, hello there. Good to see you. Richard Otto. Edisto at a San Roma Poker. Sounds good. There's Cliff Higgins. Great to see you. You've got one of those sets too, Cliff. Was it Russ? Was that his name? St. David's Peter. Oh, it's going by too quick. St. David's Peterson Billiard with Boswell Piper Dream and a Blackett Father Christmas Tamper. Can't beat that. Armchair Piper Ed. How you doing tonight, Ed? Good to see you. There's Scott at the 16th day. Good to see you, Scott. Zippo 765. Hello there, my friend. Puni Pipe Man has McBaron Navy Flake in his 111 Savinelli. A lot of Savinellis tonight. It's Friday. Wes. It was Wes. Thank you, Cliff. Yes, Wes made the tampers. And Couch is here. How you doing, Couch? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I knew old Khakis, Cliff. I thought his name was Russ for some reason, but yes, it was Wes. Absolutely. I haven't seen him in quite a long time. But beautiful tamper set. Yeah, I got my St. Benedict lighter, which I dearly love. There's the Urban Hermit. Hello there, Everett. Good to see you tonight. Pipe Writer's got a Savinelli Quandale with Christmas Spice from Sutliff. Well, Christmas blend's rolling out, huh? Zippo's got C&D Burley Flake in a K. Woody Sabatia Prince Corona Extra to cleanse the palate. Very nice. Brian Woodward's got Robusto in a Boswell Christmas pipe from last year. Cool. There's Texas Piper. How you doing, Eddie? Ah, Peter the Smooth Piper's got one of these sets too, huh? We're an elite group. You, me, and Cliff, huh? I know there's other folks that got them too, but I don't know how many of them are still around. The Urban Hermit's got Haunted Bookshop in his Friday Savinelli. Sirius Zenith lineup for tonight. Boswell Northwoods in a Capri Churchwarden. My Mixture 965 and a Gasparini. Can't beat that there, Zenith. That's the way I always feel when I go into a live chat St. David's Pipes. I'm just like, hi everyone. I'm not going to remember y'all. Can't type that fast. Yeah, the price of everything is going up, MTMTB. I went grocery shopping today, and I don't do that. Well, I do it, but you know, normally I'm with my wife, and she pays attention. I just put stuff in the cart. And so I went today by myself because my wife's in Pittsburgh, and like, when did romaine lettuce start costing as much as beef? I just couldn't believe the prices. The Urban Hermit officially has 3 pounds of Haunted Bookshop. Hooray! I also have 3 pounds, Everett, at least. Mountain Coffee Outdoors just got back inside after enjoying Orlick Golden Slice in his original Friday Savinelli Roma 673. Not the one that came in the mail yesterday. So you got that. Fantastic. Gareth was the winner of the matches Memorial Friday Savinelli that we auctioned off last Saturday. $47 a pound. My goodness. That's a lot, Eddie. Yeah, I have a bunch that I bought years ago at $30 a pound. I should probably sell it and make a profit. Mountain Coffee Outdoors. This lighter, it's actually a standard Zippo. I don't know if they're still selling them or not. It's their plate engraved style. It's heavier than it's not printed on there. It's actually engraved. And this was a gift from my friend Ben, the Artful Codger on Instagram. He's now the Dusty Old Codger. And he was kind enough to give this to me several years ago, and I really love this lighter. Yeah, the unit price guide is good to use, Michael, but then I have to put my reading glasses on. I've always just, and it's stupid, but I always just get the stuff I need. Like, or I want. I don't really pay attention like, oh, I need to get, you know, I don't buy Kraft macaroni and cheese, but it's the first thing that came to mind. So I'm gonna go in and get Kraft macaroni and cheese, and I don't look to see if Kraft is cheaper than, who else makes macaroni and cheese? There must be somebody else that makes it, you know, a store brand or whatever. I don't look at that. I just get the thing that I usually buy, and I don't pay any attention to the price because I'm an idiot. That's why I have my lovely wife. She does that stuff for me. And then she leaves me up to my own devices, and I ruin everything. Gary Edminster has many pounds of tobacco. Me too, Gary. It's a good thing to have. Zippo. Interesting factoid on the Zippos. They actually armor line Zippos that are coated, then laser engrave them. Yes, I believe they are called armor plated, I think, or something like that, or armor engraved. Yes, Everett, I have had Orion's Arrow, and it is very good. Good stuff. Lighters on eBay for $109? Really? Wow. Big Dave got his pipe in the mail yesterday. Fantastic. Great to hear. Velveeta, there's another macaroni and cheese maker. Can't remember the last time I ate macaroni and cheese. Pipe writer, I am not, but I'm not going crazy. I'm doing like 3 to 4 bowls a day. And the dentist kind of said that was okay. Oh, that's cool, Gary, that you've got Zippos that are related to your various commands. That's really neat. Yes, Mountain Coffee Outdoors. It does indeed ward off the demons. So I'm protected when I smoke. That's okay, David. I got the Velveeta. I got it. What is Velveeta, by the way? Is that cheese? I know they call it cheese, but it sits out on the shelf without being refrigerated. Armchair Piper smoking squadron leader in a new Stanwell 110. Very nice. Ah, Texas Piper got his Peterson, and Jim did a great job. Glad to hear that. Yeah, Jim Finn at Premium Polished Pipes does fantastic restoration work, and he trained under Tim West, so he really knows what he's doing. I highly recommend him, and he often has estate pipes for sale. So premiumpolishedpipes.com. Voodoo07, good evening, sir. How are you tonight? It's a cheese food product. Thank you, David Green. That clears up nothing, but at least we know. Cheese food product. Cheese-like substance, Brian Woodward says. Yes. So yeah, my wife has been gone, I think it's 3 weeks now, which is a really long time. And she may be gone longer. And I got a couple things I'm kind of proud of. You know, I'm doing okay. I think I've passed the test. Velveeta is mainly oil. That makes sense, Ford. That makes sense. Mountain Coffee Outdoors. Anyone have problems cellaring tins? A squadron leader. I have a tin that smells way too much like Latakia, which tells me that it's probably not well sealed. Well, they are those square tins, Mountain Coffee Outdoors, and you should seal them with something. You know, some people use foil tape. I use Parafilm. It does a nice job. Some people just use packing tape. Tim Fournier says that Velveeta is enough cheese-like to affect his allergies, so there must be some cheese in there. Yeah, Jimmy 513. I didn't know the Artful Codger had put some videos back up, but he certainly is a great guy that makes great videos. I don't know what his plans are. He's doing some really cool stuff on Instagram though. He's been doing I think every Friday actually. He's been sort of reviewing an old blend, like an old, really old blend, like he did Union Leader recently. Cheese food product, just add WD-40. There you go, Voodoo. Michael Case, it wasn't 3 tins. It was 1 tin, and it was Alan Dorsey was kind enough to give me the tin of Telegraph Hill from Jay Furman, and that did arrive today. Actually, I got that in the mail today. So thank you for asking, Michael. Goodbye note from the Riviera. I sure hope not, Doug. I sure hope not. Yeah, so my list of accomplishments over the past 3 weeks. I've actually put the trash out 3 times in a row on the right day. I mean, when she's here, I sometimes screw that up. So I'm pretty proud of that. Jim PM, good evening. Back for more, it seems indeed. And there's Tobacco Pipes International. Did a go on your channel a few shows back. Never got the address of your winner. Well, I don't know why you can't email me, Mark, but I don't remember who won. I don't remember. I don't even remember which show that was. So if you know the name, but I can also mention it on Sunday if I remember. But we'll sort something out, Mark. Don't worry about it. Big Country Briar, just talking with a guy who bought a Chinese Zippo knockoff and said it had a channel around the insert with an O-ring. Says he filled it up over 2 weeks ago and it still fires up. I don't believe it, Cole, because most of the Zippo fluid comes out through the wick. So I don't believe it. Andrew Galloway has arrived. Hello, Andrew. Twinkies, Tang, and Velveeta, better living through chemistry indeed, Sailor. Ah, Couch, she knows you love her. She knows. Walked to Ilva for 2 miles. That's good for you, too. Lurker Tony. Chapstick trick works on Zippos. Oh, Lurker Troy. Sorry, Troy. Well, if it works for you, that's great, but most of the stuff comes out through the wick, so I don't know how any of the sealing and Vaseline and everything else could possibly make a difference. I've tried it. It doesn't matter. For me. Was it 3 bags in the same day? No, Ford, it was each week I got it out on time. I've managed to feed myself. And I only got takeout once in 3 weeks. I'm pretty proud of that. I fed the dogs somewhat regularly, and they haven't tried to eat me. So, you know, it's been really good. Okay, Mark, if they do come back in, we'll get it sorted. Maybe Ed remembers who the winner was. I just don't remember it. Portsmouth Piper, hey, been having it's been a bit of a stressful week, to be honest, Mark, but it's over now, so that's a good thing. There's Glumchum Piper. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Yes, David Green. Parafilm is fun to play with. It's great stuff. Yeah, Gary, I could often get 2 days out of a Zippo, but last time I went to buy fluid, they only had the Ronson. I couldn't find the Zippo fluid. Well, I could have found it if I would have gone somewhere else, but um, I didn't want to go somewhere else. I was busy, and I just picked it up at the first place where I could find lighter fluid. So I bought the Ronson, and darn, that stuff has only been lasting 1 day. And they should be the same thing, from what I understand. Zippo bought Ronson, and they're the same company, and the fluids are the same. But this stuff is only lasting 1 day. It's really interesting. Yeah, Zippo 765, that's a good point. Pulling the cotton out and repacking them does help. You know, get that wick kind of snaked through the cotton inside. That makes a big difference. Did the dogs get takeout you're asking for? They had a little bit. But yeah. Oh, you mean when I didn't feed them? St. David, she's in Pittsburgh because she's helping her mom. Her dad needs care, and her mom broke her arm, so she's sort of helping out there. Pondering with Pepe's Pipes got a new Zippo at the thrift store for 16 bucks. That's a deal. Really, Texas Piper, I had never thought about that. He says if you keep it standing vertically, the Zippo fluid lasts longer. Yeah. Lord Hogarth has given up on his Zippos, and now he's using the new Bic lighters with the phallic stem? Hmm. Okay. Couch ordered some Parafilm from China, and has it come in yet, Couch? At the end of 2019? Not a good time to be ordering from China. So Everett's saying the runs and flits don't last as long as Zippo flints. Interesting. TPI saying they're different. I said Cliff saw saying they're different. Very interesting. Pittsburgh is a fine place to meet a wife, Andrew. That's where I met mine. It's funny, everybody's remembering Parafilm from science labs. I didn't know what Parafilm was until I was in college working in a research lab. We never used it in the science labs. Yes, dogs do have to eat too. Uh, yeah, the other thing is I haven't injured myself severely, so I haven't gone to the ER in 3 weeks. I I think I'm doing fine. Artie's place, how you doing, Artie? Garden Piper, hello there. Gary Edmister says same lighter Tom Curley is using. You mean the phallic stemmed Bic lighter that Lord Hogarth was referring to? Syrian Zenith ordered boots from China and got socks instead. Oh, Doug, that's not good. I've had that happen too. The dog snatches a steak, and yeah, and then they want it every night. Artie, thank you so much, my friend. I really do appreciate that. No, Michael, I actually have not had my wedding ring on for a while. It just got too big. I have to get it resized. My wife told me to take it off because it kept falling off, and she was afraid I was going to lose it. So I am not wearing it with permission. That's right, Ford, no bouncing. Ford and I were talking a couple weeks ago about how we don't bounce so well anymore. Do I have, I'm going to do a demonstration for y'all. So look what I got. And I've been noticing something about this. Let me see if I can find a tin. Of course, none of these will have the problem. Here's one that I haven't wrapped yet. I've noticed on a couple of tins, set these aside. It's a bit grubby because it's been sitting down here in the basement with all the sawdust floating around, but yeah, this isn't it. I've noticed on a couple of tins that I put the Parafilm on that it's cracked. And, you know, it might have just been the square tins. So what I've started doing, I'm not prepared for this. You got a piece about yay big. And this is, you can get this in two sizes. They sell it twice this width, but it's nice to get it in this width if you can, because then you don't have to cut it in half. And the hardest part about using Parafilm is getting the paper off of it. There we go. So what I've been doing, what I started doing and what I demonstrated years ago in a video was you just grab this and you start stretching it around. But because I've noticed it's been cracking lately, I've started folding this in half. And then, it's so hard to do holding it up in the air like that, so I'll get it started. And then you just run it around. And that seems to hold a lot better. It doesn't develop those cracks. So good stuff though. But I've gotten some tins as gifts from folks that use that silver tape that I think is used for sealing ducks or something. I don't honestly know, and that works fine too. Doug says the lighter he refers to is the Bic pipe lighter with the long neck, quite effective, but the best one is the $20 refillable one from Jetline. A great, but butane and refillable. Yeah. I just like the Zippos, you know. It's not a big deal to me to fill them with fluid in the morning when I remember. And as you've seen on many occasions, I have forgotten, but it's I just like them. I like the history. I like the feel of them. I like the sound. You know, so. But whatever works for you. Ron Hardcracker, speaking of Red Devil flints, I have an old Red Devil lighter tin with the original price sticker of 47 cents for a 7 ounces. Of fluid, I'm assuming that is? Forward Smoking Pipes is giving us a whiskey recommendation. Redemption Bourbon. Creamy and smoother than Bullet. Salute, gents. Duct tape is great for everything but ducks. Yes, Michael. Zippo's been using Zippo since he was a wee lad, thus the name. Voodoo says a Corona Old Boy, one and done. Yeah, if it works for you, that's great. Marilyn and a spark does indeed work. Yes. Oh, Doug. Doug's making a duct tape joke. Yeah, Voodoo, I've heard a lot of people say they don't care for the flavor of the fluid. I honestly have never tasted the fluid. But, you know, a lot of folks say that, so. Patrick Grant, good evening, sir. Good to see you. Gary Edminster is going to a meeting at his local pipe shop. That should be fun. St. David says the odor of lighter fluid nauseates him. Michael Case found another Scripto lighter. Michael, I got you that Scripto. I'm going to do something with it, I promise. They're great lighters. Yes, Voodoo, another Yingling joke. I do like Yingling. So, really, Everett? Everett says he uses Zippo all the time unless he's around his dad because his dad can't stand the smell of the fluid. I don't know how you could detect it. I must have. Well, you know, it's weird because for some things I've got this ridiculously sensitive smell and taste perception, but I guess it's very selective because I don't even notice the Zippo stuff. Even when I'm filling the lighter, I don't smell it. And Cliff Higgins loves the fragrance of Zippo fluid. Boy, this is one of those truly polarizing topics, isn't it? Maybe that's it, Doug. Maybe I'm just very slow to light, and the taste and smell is gone by the time I get it to my pipe. Artie and TPI are talking transmissions. Patrick doesn't taste or smell it either, so I'm not the only one. I think I'm done with my haunted bookshop already. Well, that's disappointing. That didn't last very long at all. Smell of white gas lanterns and camp stoves. That I can smell. Mountain Coffee Outdoors. Wait a minute. I gotta back up for this one. Tim Fournier says, instead of ginger or Marianne, how about less filling or taste great? I don't want to think about what sniffing lighter fluid does to the brain, Michael. Doug says naphtha is initially noticeable and dissipates rather quickly. Andrew Galloway suggesting scented Zippo fluids, blueberry, vanilla. Yeah, Ron, you don't want to bathe in it. I get it. Zippo fluid aromatic line. Oh, glad you like that cigar, Eddie. Yeah, those Leaf by Oscar Sumatra, they're fantastic smokes. I had an Oscar last night. For some reason, I just wanted a cigar last night, and it was not the typical line. It was one of the Oscar Valdez, and I can't remember the name of it, so sorry. That's a good point, Tim. You know your bookshop is haunted when it vanishes quickly in your pipe. Oh, Doug, that's not good. Yeah, you don't want to use lighter fluid in the barbecue lighter fluid in your Zippo. Not good at all. Although it'll work. I'm gonna have to get another pipe here. So I've got my Rick Black Morta tonight. I haven't had as much variety in my pipes lately because I've been going for big bowls. Since I'm limiting the number of pipes I smoke a day, they last longer. Naphtha was used to run tugboats in the 20s and 30s, as Michael Case has said before. That is fascinating, Michael. I honestly didn't know that, and I don't remember. I probably said that the last time you mentioned it. Yeah, I don't want to think about what scented fluid would do to the workings of the lighter, Patrick. I don't think I got an Oscar for that, Tim. That would be nice. So I think I'm going to have some of this vintage Syrian that I opened last week. I've smoked, I think, 3 more bowls of this. And yeah, it's good. It's not my all-time favorite tobacco. It suffers from a bit of latakia. But it's that sharpness that I had the first night is not as apparent. It's actually very sweet. Surprised at how sweet it is. And it does have more of that leathery latakia flavor than the smoky latakia, which is what I like. So yeah, not bad. Scratches the itch. Maybe this will be the beginning of the winter latakia jag that I go on sometimes. I don't know. Oh, that's cool, Jim. Jim says he has a Zippo that belonged to his grandfather. Very cool. I remember my dad had a Zippo, but I don't know what happened to it. Probably got thrown away years ago. He was a cigarette smoker, but he stopped about, oh God, it's got to be 30 years ago he stopped. And just one day just said, I don't want to smoke anymore. And never did again. Yeah, he had a Zippo, and he actually had a pipe. He had one pipe, I remember when I was growing up. Never saw him smoke it. He bought it as an alternative to cigarettes. And I remember him telling me he tried it, but he never liked it. Which most people that try a pipe in isolation have that opinion. Yeah, it's a lot of Kia. Indeed, Doug. Andrew Galloway, was that like a really bad James Taylor joke? Yeah, Patrick, it might have helped to air it out a bit. I don't know. Don't think I've had the H&H Latakia Sirius Zenith. But no, this is definitely not like incense. This is more leathery. Everett needs the paddles. I'm smoking Latakia. No, Gary, haven't tried the Latakia Flake. Tim has a Zippo and a Groucho. Little Marx Brothers joke there. Oh, I didn't know that Ken had surgery. Ron, thanks for letting me know. And the surgeon, so he's got a 2.5 hour smoke out of his WDC Wellington, uh, to keep it to one bowl a day. Yeah, he's a smart guy, that wheeled piper. Yeah, it's amazing. Patrick says his grandfather did the same thing, and it's amazing because people suffer so much trying to stop smoking cigarettes, and then you hear these stories about people that just say, "Yeah, I'm not going to do it anymore." George Campbell says he loves a good lat mom. Glad you do, George. Not me. MTMTB is asking, what's the pipe on my bench? Oh, that is CaneRod pipes #1. I had it down here practicing stamping. By the way, stamping is not easy. I had to send out #2 to Edwin Pipe Cigars, who won it in the auction on Saturday. All right, Mark. Great to have you stop in there. Have a great weekend, buddy. Wow, Voodoo. So it's a full year before you can smoke a pipe. Man, back surgery is not fun. Well, that's an understatement, of course, but in terms of pipe smoking, it certainly isn't fun. And Patrick says his aunt stopped smoking in 1980 and never smoked again. Yeah, you know, Patrick, it might be that some folks are just resistant to nicotine. because I think I've told this story before, but I don't have any, people say, oh, I can't smoke that, it's too much nicotine. I just don't notice it. I don't notice any nicotine content of any tobacco. It just doesn't, to me, it's all taste. I don't get any sort of effect of smoking. So I was talking to my dad about this once, and I said, I can stop when I get a cold and stuff. It just never bothers me, and I never feel the nicotine. And he said, that's how I was too. I smoked, and he smoked. I mean, he stopped when I was in college, and he smoked my whole life, and multiple packs a day. I mean, I told the story about running to the store when I was like 5, 7 years old and buying cigarettes for him. And he said, he just did it for something to do. It wasn't that he ever had a craving for it. When he got sick, he would set him aside until he was feeling better, if he had got a cold or something. So I had wondered if maybe we had some sort of a, genetic lack of nicotine sensitivity or something. But yeah. Are you telling me to try Black XX, Jim, because of the nicotine? Because I've had it and it doesn't do anything to me. Burley Flake number 3 is good stuff. Mountain Coffee Outdoors is beginning to appreciate Burley's. That's a good thing. Everett wants to know what's nicotine. That's interesting, Voodoo. So you must clear it very quickly then. Yeah, and definitely different people react to different leaves differently. That was a lot of difference. Jim PM, yeah. So some folks are more sensitive to burley, and yeah. Oh, there you go. That's interesting, Garden Piper. So there's a story of someone that had really bad withdrawal trying to stop cigarettes, and then 20 years later stopped cold turkey. Andrew Galloway, thank you, buddy. You have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us tonight. Tim spends a lot of time in burley country. And George Campbell says he agrees it's not about the nicotine, but the flavor. And yeah, aromatics. Yeah, I get you, George. Zippo says it's not tobacco unless it makes him hiccup by half bowl. Yeah, Doug, the inhaling is definitely a big issue in terms of the health. I don't think anybody actually knows what it is in tobacco that is hazardous to health. I mean, nicotine is not good for you because it is a vasoconstrictor, so it is causing cardiovascular effects and probably leads to heart failure and things like that ultimately. So it's not good for you. But yeah, definitely there's something else that's leading to the cancers. It's not nicotine. Yeah, Tim, I did get that earwig in the book, but I happen to know that lyric, but I couldn't tell you which. I would just say it's from the Fleetwood Mac song because they all sound the same to me. Jimmy 513, his dad smoked for 60 years and he finally was able to quit when he's 72. He's 76 now. That's pretty good, Jimmy. You do need nicotine receptors, Michael, but there's different types of nicotine receptors. It gets complicated. There's different subtypes. And it might be fewer. It might be how they're coupled to other things. There's all sorts of stuff that could happen. Serious Zenith has got a chipmunk problem. Anybody got suggestions on how to get him to move away? I know mice, if I remember right, don't like mint. I don't know if that works with chipmunks though. Not necessarily, Texas Piper. Caffeine will have cardiovascular effects, but it's not a vasoconstrictor. So I don't know. Don't get your health advice from me. I'm a brain biology guy. They don't let me work on anything below the nose. Patrick Grant is identifying one of the many Fleetwood Mac songs that sound exactly the same. And the Urban Hermit is recommending a rat trap. Tim Fournier is recommending a beagle for the chipmunks. Jim PM, a cat. Always ask a brain scientist. Indeed, Michael Case, but they won't give you a good answer unless it's about the brain. Seller says all alkaloids are in general addictive. All alkaloids I can think of off the top of my head are... Cole is pointing out that it is Christmas, so that's when the chipmunks are supposed to show up. Garden Piper had to switch to decaf because of heart rhythm issues. Yeah, it will affect you. Caffeine will affect your heart rhythm, no question about it. Sir James says mothballs will help with the chipmunks. Doug is asking about that the ick that was going around the past couple years and whether smokers were more or less resistant to it. I'm sorry, Doug, I don't want to use the word because I get flagged when I use the word. A slingshot would work, George Campbell. So there were a couple of articles on this that were really interesting. There is definite evidence that smokers had better outcomes than non-smokers, which is the exact opposite of what you would have thought. But those studies came out of France and China. They weren't replicated in any other countries. It doesn't mean they weren't replicated, they just weren't published. So there's a problem. There's a problem there that I could go on about for quite a while. The interesting thing is that there's a receptor in the lung that the bug binds to get into the cells, and that receptor binds nicotine. So the argument was that nicotine could in fact be protective, but you're never going to get something good about nicotine published or popularized. So if you want more detail than that, Doug, we'll have to chat offline. Phil Rivera, how you doing, Phil? Same thing in the 19th century for TB? Ah, yes, that's right. That's right. I remember seeing newspaper ads for um, tobacco and as a treatment for tuberculosis. Old newspaper ads, obviously. Yeah, Zippo's saying he got it twice, but it wouldn't prevent you from getting it, Zippo. It just would improve the outcome, was what these reports claimed. And again, it was two reports, and they're not the most reputable top line journals that they were published in, but that doesn't mean that they were wrong. Yeah, Tim, I used to joke that Haunted Bookshop was protecting me by setting up a 6 foot barrier that nobody dared enter. Gary Edminster says his chipmunks pushed the mothballs back out of the holes. You still struggling there, Phil? I sure hope you're feeling better soon, buddy. I didn't see that, Sailor, but you got to be careful about those kinds of things because the concentration they use, anything will kill something at a high enough concentration. Rick Allen, how you doing? Has anyone tried Mystic by Captain Earl? I have not. Jim PM, the Scotsman in me loves the sound of the pipes. Most hate them. I love the sound of bagpipes for about 5 minutes. I mean, I really do think they're quite beautiful, but about 5 minutes is all I can handle. Oh, glad you're getting some shop time in, Phil. That's good to hear. I used to love Art Bell, Doug. He used to have some of the most incredible guests. I swear there were space alien chipmunks in his attic. That is a pretty high concentration, Zippo, yes. Kingdom of Nye, indeed. I actually used to. I listened to Art Bell when I was a. Was I a postdoc? Yeah, I was a postdoc at the time. I was at Emory. And I had to get up early in the morning, so I couldn't listen to him. And this is back in the early days of recording technology and such. So I actually used to record his radio program onto VCR tapes because they were the only thing that would allow a long enough recording that you could get the full show. And then I actually had a VCR in the lab that I would play it on while I was working. So those are some fond memories. Yeah, Tim, you're using bagpipes as a weapon there. Oh, it's funny, Phil. Open line for the Antichrist. And taciturn Richard can only do the bagpipes for 5 seconds. Well, you know, to each his own, Richard. Yeah, George Norrie was the guy that took over when Art retired, right? Yeah, Art was a unique talent, Phil. I don't think anybody could ever replace him. Oh, Rick Allen is getting called away by the matrimonial leash. Well, Rick, thank you for joining us tonight. Have a great weekend, buddy. Yes, George Campbell, the pipes actually were used as a sort of weapon. Um, Scared the heck out of the opposing army if they did not know what they were. If they did know what they were, they just said, oh no. Scotch was invented to help with bagpipe tolerance, according to Sailor. I thought Scotch was invented to allow you to eat haggis, but could be. Could be both. So mountain coffee outdoors. Do I understand correctly that the flares? So you saw actual flares and thought they might be something else based on Art's influence? Okay, mountain coffee, I get it. That's funny. Aliens are coming. Mel's hole, yes, that was the hole that went to hell, wasn't it? And he would play recordings of the sounds coming out of the hole and stuff. I didn't see that he died from an overdose, Sailor. I don't know. I don't know the cause of death. I was surprised that when he had died. I wasn't that old, actually. Portland has a local art bell, Clyde something, according to Michael Case. I'm sure that's fascinating. I don't remember Bob Lazar. I see a couple people mentioning him. I remember Graham Hancock being on Art Bell, and now Graham Hancock's got a Netflix special. So go figure. Art Bell was a ham. Yep. Indeed, Artie. You can't replace Paul Harvey either. Dr. Demento. I would love it if they brought back Dr. Demento reruns too. George Campbell's another ham. St. David's like Svengoolie. I love Svengoolie, St. David. Oh, it's prescription meds, huh? Oh, that's unfortunate. It was an accidental overdose, says Doug Owen. Pico and Sepulveda. Everybody exchanging their ham radio call signs. I'm sitting here desperately trying to remember mine. KC3PIV. There we go. It's been too long since I turned the radio on. We got to fix that. I was talking to Pipe Smoking Cowboy Chris, if you remember him. He was a ham. He is a ham. And he was going to give me some advice. I've been wanting to get into HF. Sorry, if you're not ham radio folks, you can just ignore me now. But and it's just one of these things where I don't know where to start. My wife isn't going to let me put an antenna up. So, and I think I want to just do what's called QRP, low power, Morse code, CW. But that's a whole other story. So, yeah, I got work to do. 73, George Campbell. Amateur extra, impressive, sailor. This is a weird conversation going on here. We're seeing ham radio talk, Dr. Demento lyrics, and Art Bell memories all coming up at the same time. This might be what it feels like to be a little off. Oh no, Mel had a visit from the Men in Black, Doug? I don't remember that. Yeah, Jeremy, I've been thinking about a flagpole. I mean, I could put an antenna up, but there's no reason I can't, but my wife just wouldn't want it. It does all seem to fit somehow, doesn't it? Yeah, they all go hand in hand, Zippo. They do indeed. All we need is another language. Yeah, it's you know, I make jokes. I don't know if anybody reads the descriptions, but I kind of downplay what the show is about on purpose. Just self-deprecating humor, like let's get together for another bunch of nothing, or things like that. Tonight was 90 minutes of the best live streaming stuff or something. But the truth is, where are you going to go to get this quality level of diverse stuff? It just doesn't happen anywhere else. Yeah, Doug, you did mention the alien chipmunks in the attic. That is a little off. All eccentricities welcome here indeed, Michael. And we all do speak pipes, Taciturn Richard. Amen to that. And Tim likes his ham radio when it starts to smell like bacon. That's usually when you've done something wrong, Tim. Sailor's got an attic full of antenna. Yeah, I was thinking about trying to put something up in the attic, but the problem is the way our attic runs, it doesn't have easy access for me to run a line to anywhere where I'd want to have the radio. So I got to figure that out. Anyway, I'll get it sorted. The chipmunks talk to you at 3 a.m., Doug? Now the brain scientist in me is starting to wonder, Doug. Yes, thank you, Urban Hermit. Smash the like button, folks, because we want the word to get out so more people can join us for this, whatever this is. Yeah, George, that's what I've been thinking as well, is running dipoles in the attic, right at the, the peak of the roof there. Big Country Briar, you have a great weekend too, buddy. Thanks for joining us. And Jeremy Blankenship wants to broaden out the discussion. What are my thoughts on Lakeland blends? Jeremy, I'm terrified of them. I have tried very, very few. Feed lines are always a problem. Yeah, Sailor. And I don't, I got to be honest, I just don't understand like antenna tuners and stuff like that. I really have to bone up on that stuff and try to figure it out. And it's one of these things where it's complicated enough that every time I try to understand something, 10 other things pop up that I don't understand, and I just can't get a picture in my mind of what I need. The chipmunks prefer haunted bookshop. Well, they can't be all bad, Doug. I do not have any tobacco in my attic, Everett. That is not true. It's close to the attic, but it's not my attic. Oh, we're doing toys in the attic again. An end-fed dipole is perfect for attics. Well, I'll have to look into that, Sailor. All briared up. How you doing there, John? Been lurking and staining. Hopefully something that was supposed to be stained. Garden Piper says he loves Lakelands every once in a great while. Tim puts Lakelands up there with Captain Black Grape. Zippo You must like the Ennerdale because he got some from a friend for Christmas. Unless he's been a very bad boy. I mean, I like Mixture 79, which some people say is Lakelandy. Um, what's the other one that I smoke that people say is Lakelandy? There's another one. I can't think of it right now. Well, that's funny, Michael. A ham friend whose name is Guywire? That's really funny. Pipes, not pants. All briared up. That's funny. Yeah, it's the floral that gets me, Tim. That's what I'm really afraid of. 3-star blue sounds awful to me, Zippo. Oh, is Stonehenge has got some of the Lakeland? Oh, that's right, but it's very light. Yeah, and it flashes off pretty quickly. But that is one of the other ones that I've smoked that's Lakelandy. Jim PM, I've heard people say that 79 is Lakeland like. I don't know. I get licorice from it. Other people say root beer. I get licorice and vanilla. Everett likes Mixture 79. I do too, Everett. Too cold in Ohio to stain. That's cold, Gary. Like Zero Loathed Bananas? A Planet of the Apes reference there, Tim? Oh, that is a creepy commercial, Doug. The Geico commercial with the mannequins in the attic. That is very creepy. Mountain Coffee Outdoors. That's my area. Psychobiology. That's. It used to be called that. Now it's called neuroscience. But yeah, I love this stuff. I was a psychology major for a long time, and I got fed up with the lack of basic grounding in biology. So that kind of pushed me over to it. Jim PM says Mix 79 is one of the oldest blends in circulation, and he gets licorice from it. Moving fast, moving fast. Jeremy Blankenship, it's floral and baby powder like in the tin. Just can't seem to wrap my head around this stuff. Star anise comes to mind. Could be. Sir James gets sick from 79. Zippo says it's tasty. Don't know that I ever smelled my grandmother's purse, Michael. But I'm pretty certain it smelled like juicy fruit. Clay Morris just starting to understand haunted bookshop. It takes time. Yeah, the old Planet of the Apes was great, Tim. Derivative of the geranium plant. See, that just doesn't sound like something that should be in tobacco, Doug. Yes, David Green, biology for psychos, psychobiology. Yep. Scott at the 16th day, thanks for joining us, buddy. You have a great weekend. Hey, I better get drinking here. We got 10 minutes left and I've barely touched this. Any thoughts on Huberman? Asked Garden Piper. I'm going to need some context, Garden Piper. Not sure what that refers to. Andrew Huberman at Stanford, neurobiology guy and podcaster. Don't know him, Garden Piper. I'll look him up. I do listen to some podcasts, and it'd be great to hear one with a neuroscience angle. Of course, that's what I do with my day job, so I've gotten to the point where I don't enjoy it as much for recreation as I used to. I did for a long time, but past 8 years or so, I've been sort of tapering off that. Okay, Doug. Okay, Doug. I'm sorry. I got to take you to task here. Doug says that the geranium juice in the Lakelands was from the days when British law required absolutely natural flavoring agents for aromatics. Okay, so what you're telling me, Doug, is that in all of the British Empire, the only natural flavoring agent they could find was a geranium extract. Come on, I don't believe that. It doesn't make sense. Wessex Virginia Red Flake has rosewater and coriander topping? Really? Surprised by that, Zippo. And you know what, Doug? Even if that was true, why didn't they just smoke tobacco? Why did they have to put flavoring on it? I'm sorry, there's something very weird about Lakelands, and I don't understand. I don't understand why anybody said, I'm going to put rosewater in this tobacco. And then what really baffles the mind is why anybody thought, ooh, that's good, I'm going to buy more of it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Clay Morris works with a guy that always has a pipe out of his mouth. Really cool to see we still have old schoolers out there. Amen, Clay. I got really excited. I mentioned earlier I went to the grocery store tonight, and as I was driving to the store, there was a sort of delivery truck coming in the other direction towards me, and we were stopped at a red light, and the guy reached down and he put something up to his mouth, and I thought, oh, he's a pipe smoker. I actually had my pipe with me. Got very excited, and the light changed, and I looked over as we were crossing one another, and I realized what he was actually doing was he was eating. He had a fork, and he was picking something up, bringing the fork up to his mouth. So it was disappointing. Yes, Tonkin bean is another one that I don't know. I've had Tonkin bean in some things. I think Tonkin bean is in the new incarnation of Bengal slices. I don't know if it was in the original, uh, and that's okay. But yeah, it's still just they're odd choices. I wonder why they went with things like that rather than like I don't know lemon oil or vanilla. There's all sorts of natural things they could have used. And Doug, I'm not questioning you. I'm just saying I don't understand the whole thing. It gives the Irish something to poke fun at them for. I hope neuroscience has changed psychology for the better. I hope so. Uh, Mountain Coffee. Michael Case, it's proprietary until it's not, and then we publish. So I do publish, and I do stuff sometimes that I publish that's not proprietary. So it just depends. I don't have the same kind of publication pressure that I would have in the academic world, but I do try to publish. Yeah, Garden Piper, that's a different kind of pipe smoker. Now I like deer tongue, Patrick. I love crooner, gentleman caller. Zippo just got 8 ounces of 1792 from smoking pipes today. Well, good deal, Zippo. And St. Bruno uses vinegar. Huh. Well, McClellan got away with it forever. Serious Zenith mixes his herbal smoking mix with tobacco. Unique yet surprisingly good. I've had some of the American Indian herbal smoking mixtures, which are very unique, not bad, but very different from tobacco. Tim is saying psychology is full of feminine movement. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, Doug. Bob's chocolate flake would be flavored with cocoa powder. That's natural and normal. Well, I say normal, I guess. I mean, is it any more normal to put cocoa powder in a pipe than geranium? Yes, it is more normal, yes. Yeah, Doug, they used vinegar. I don't care what Mike McNeil says. And I think that's the reason why they didn't want to sell their recipes after they shut down. So they didn't want to admit that they used vinegar. Okay, I'm obviously in a mood now. I'm gonna stop complaining about Lakelands and McClellan's before I get myself in trouble. Michael Case, yeah, he wouldn't publish. Would put you before a firing squad in some circles for sure. Shaman's Mixture. Yeah, Serious Zenith, I got mine from a company called Grandfather's Spirit. I don't remember the names. There were 3 or 4 different ones that I got. They're very good. David Green, I know very little about deer tongue, but yeah, I would assume that that is only if you ingest the deer tongue rather than smoke it, but I don't know. Clay Morris is looking for recommendations for a first briar pipe tobacco. That's so hard to answer, Clay, because everybody has different tastes. You know, when when people ask that, my recommendation usually is to try a couple of things. You know, try to find a brick and mortar where you can get 1 ounce uh, amounts, and or go to Smoking Pipes where you can get one, or one of the online places where you can order 1 ounce, and get yourself a Burley dominant blend, a Virginia dominant blend, maybe an English and an aromatic, and just try them and see what you like. Patrick likes it when I rant. Okay. Oh, Doug, when the animal rights folks start attacking the deer tongue blender, that's funny. Oh, Clay, were you looking for a first pipe or a first tobacco? I'm sorry. Oh, to break in the pipe. Yeah, really. I think anything can be used to break in a pipe. Yeah, in that case, the best advice I can give you is to use something you're familiar with, and this way you'll know when the pipe is broken in. But I think the whole, some people say you have to use Burley or you have to use Virginia. I don't think that's true. As long as you know the tobacco and you're consistent with it until the pipe is broken in, I think you're fine. Tim is recommending a black Cavendish. I think anything you use, but it should be something you know. Jim PM is saying Carter Hall. For years, I've broken pipes with Carter Hall, and I agree with you 100%. Jim PM, it works. But more recently, I've been breaking them in with Haunted Bookshop and have not had any issues with it. I think it's just that you want to know when that pipe changes and tells you that it's broken in. Michael wants to know if I'm preparing a welcome home surprise for my wife's homecoming. I haven't planned anything yet, Michael. I got to find out when she's coming home first. And as far as she's concerned, if me and the dogs are still alive and the house hasn't burned down, she'll be happy. Popo Piper, how you doing? Oh, you like the stem? This is Rick Black, Sunbird on Instagram. And yeah, it is a pretty acrylic. It's got some really nice like pearlescent effect in there. A clean house would suffice, Michael. Well, you're probably not going to get that, but I'll run the vacuum. You know, Tim, I didn't even think to get some crooner in while she was gone. I should have done that. I don't have any. Yeah, Everett beats his pipes into submission. Well, folks, it's hard to believe that we're already 4 minutes over. Doug, I will talk to the chipmunks tonight and see if I can make plans with them to leave in time. Zippo uses the Urban Hermit break-in method a lot. Tim's been smoking his Prince Crooner lately. That's the Prince Albert and Crooner blend, Tim. I can see how that would work. Indeed, George, time does fly when you're having fun, and I've had fun tonight. I really have. This has been quite a whirlwind of topics, but it's always great. Always enjoy it. So, folks, I think I'm gonna finish this up and go let the dogs out and go to bed. I'm tired. Get the weekend started in style tomorrow, whatever that means. So. But I want to thank you all for joining me. It's been a lot of fun. High point of my week for sure. I hope you all have a great weekend. Michael Case, I will see you on Sunday. I will do my best at least. And maybe I'll even have something interesting to talk about. Who knows? So I hope you all have a great weekend. Fantastic week ahead. We'll be back. Oh, almost forgot. Next week, I have booked Santa Claus. He has agreed to come on the show next week for an interview. So get all your Santa Claus questions ready. Whatever you want to ask old Chris Kringle. He said he's open to anything. No holds barred. So let him have it. But you got a whole week to come up with your best questions for Santa. So I will see you all next week. Me and Chris Kringle will be here. Until then, you all have a great week, and we'll talk again real soon. Take care, guys.